And while I'm on the topic, if y'all so worried about being segregated from everybody else, what do you want? Because last time I checked, y'all want y'all own everything. Y'all want black shows, black movies, black radio, black music, black neighborhoods, black churches, black grocery stores, black owned restaurants where you got to pay $15 just to sit down at the table, and a 22% gratuity no matter how many people sitting at the table eating, no matter how good or bad the service was. Y'all want all black everything anyway, but then y'all want to cry about segregation. Make it make sense. What do you want? And if you don't want to be segregated, which ain't nobody segregating us, stupids, but if you really were fearful that people were trying to segregate themselves from us, at what point do you turn inward and say, well, you know, what are the reasons why people don't want to be around us? It can't just be because of the color of our skin or because our hair grows up and not down. That can't be the reason. Because most of y'all got wigs on anyway, so they can't even tell that our hair is kinky no more. So it can't be about that. Perhaps it could be about the fact that everywhere we go, we somewhere loud and obnoxious. It might be about the fact that our kids, no matter what school we send them to, our kids seem to be at the bottom of every single school we send them to. Our kids seem to be overrepresented in special education. Our kids seem to be overrepresented in suspensions and expulsions. Perhaps the issue is with the fact that 60-something% of our babies are born out of wedlock. Perhaps there's an issue with the black communities. You look around, you see more liquor stores and check cashing places than banks and grocery stores. And everybody seems to be okay with that because they keep on living there. Somebody's selling the drugs, somebody doing the drugs. I see crackheads and dope fiends all day long. And I also see the ones supplying and serving them. Let's be for real. Somebody's doing the shooting and the killing in the communities. Somebody's doing the making the babies and leaving them. Somebody's failing to teach their kids how to read. Somebody's failing to teach their kids how to articulate themselves, how to behave in public. We have some issues within our community that need to be worked out, but y'all would rather just blame white people for everything and be mad at white people for not wanting to be around us when we actually could straighten some things out ourselves. But y'all just gonna call me a coon and a whatever for trying to tell y'all what to do. And that's exactly why I tapped out. I ran a school. I created this whole school specifically for black kids in the hood, to take them out of the country, to show them something different, to expose them to a better world. And what did their parents do? Tear it up. So I tapped out. I don't even care no more. But me and my black child and my black child's black daddy are going to figure it out. We're going to get it right. Ain't nobody going to subjugate us. Ain't nobody going to feel the need to segregate themselves from us, because we are necessary, we are needed, we are appreciated, we are valued, and we are our authentic black selves the whole time.
The Trump administration removed the federal ban on segregated facilities and government contracts. So I guess that means integration doesn't mean shit if you have a government contract. Looks like we're the Walmart of the world, but instead of rolling back prices, we're rolling back rights. Segregation is still illegal under the Civil Rights Act. But this change removes extra layer of protection that force companies to follow the law in government contracts. Now, if a contractor wants to separate workers by race, they can. And when someone complains, they'll say, oh, well, it wasn't in the contract. This is how civil discrimination gets normalized. This is how civil rights protections die, one rollback at a time. This just won't affect government buildings. It'll hit military bases, construction sites, prisons, places where workers already deal with discrimination. You really think racist contractors won't take advantage of this? And let's be clear, this wasn't accidental. This is Trump's war on civil rights disguised as cutting through red tape. This is for people who miss the good old days when they didn't have to share spaces with black people. They're testing how much they can get away with. If we don't push back now, this won't be the last rollback. So stay loud, stay mad, because they're trying to bring Jim Crow back. And they're not even trying to hide it anymore.
So I get on TikTok today and I'm watching all these videos about the rollback of the segregation laws. And it is hilarious. I'm loving like the response from black people, because black people saying at this point, we want segregation. At this point, we want our own schools, hospitals, malls. We want our own everything. I love it. But I want to put this right here into our heads. Segregation versus separation. In segregation, they're still in control of us. They're just allowed to divide everything up: housing, schools, and things of that nature. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us separation or death. Separation is what we really want. Separation means that we govern ourselves, that we're in control. of what we have going on, and they're in control of what they have going on. And if we want to work with one another, we can do business. That's what we're interested in. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad actually said that separation is the only solution to our problem. He said, you must know that this is the time of our separation and the judgment of this world, the Caucasian, which you and I have known. This is a big, 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 big time for black people, for the whole world right now. So for us to be feeling like this, it's divine, because all of our minds are aligning and we are wanting the same thing: separation.
Now they trying to hit me with the, oh, I bet you look stupid now for voting for Donald Trump. He's bringing back segregation. First off, segregation never left. You can check your local neighborhood, local school, local church. Segregation is here in America, and it is never, ever, 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 ever going nowhere. Imagine if all black businesses just say, okay, shop black only, black people. That's a form of segregation. You might not like it, but it is a form of segregation. But now they trying to say that Trump is bringing it back. That's nonsense. NPR says here, the Trump administration cut a clause from the federal contracting rules that have been on the books since the 1960s. Companies are no longer explicitly prohibited from having segregated facilities. So that means I can own a business right now, create a water fountain, and say this water fountain right here is for black folks only, that water fountain is for white folks only. That is not what it's saying. That's not what it's saying, because I'm reading the memo right here. The memo explicitly says contractors are still covered by existing United States laws on civil rights / non-discrimination. These laws apply whether or not the company is a government contractor. So that means that these companies cannot be racist. At the end of the day, no matter what policy Trump rolled back, you are still protected by state laws, and there are other laws like Title VII or the Civil Rights Act that Martin Luther King walked for. We done had this discussion already. You are protected. A lot of these laws are redundant, and as Trump rolls them back, the news is going to put it in that liberal propaganda machine and say some nonsense like, oh, he's bringing back segregation. No, he is not.